is not the death penalty potentially, a wounding against man's justice in a very egregious way? And you hear this argument sometimes phrased this way. Well, what if they have the chance to repent? Right? They're in jail. They have the chance to repent. That's like one of the most classic arguments that you hear people give.
Yeah.
Aquinas has already answered this question. he says that, and it's a brilliant answer. He says, okay, let's say hypothetically, right? I'm going to give a modern analogy. You got Jim Bob. Jim Bob commits murder, right? He gets thrown in jail, right? And there's the argument, should he be put to death, or should he just, what if he has a chance to repent and he just stays in jail? Aquinas says, even if he repents, okay, his soul can be free, forgiven in the presence of God. But just because he is off the hook with the Lord in a certain sense does not mean he's off the hook with the state.
Right. The punishment I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, the punishment still has to be done. He's forgiven, but there's still that real temporal, earthly punishment that exists. And which in this case, he says, if you have a man commit murder, what is a just or equal measure to that? What would be the taking of that individual's life, especially if in this context, he would be like a public nuisance or a mass murderer or something, right? When we look at today, you see a lot of these school shooters or, like the movie theater shooters and stuff like that. They're still in their court proceedings like 20 years later.
Yeah.
Always pleading mental health. They're basically just going round and round. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying that we necessarily need to go back to like the 1870s where it's just like, you stole my horse. Good enough for me. You're
a Texan. I'm a Coloradan. So there's a little bit of the old West in both of us, right?
Yeah, no, I'm like, look, I'm not just going to necessarily trust random Sheriff Joe, but at the same time, there's like a real precedent where there's so much crime going on now